Hello, Joy.
Hello.
Good to have you. We're going to be talking on greatness in career. Like we've spoken before, I'm working on a project, the material that I intend to send to secondary schools, to our younger minds, to address what career is. The whole idea is to give them the proper orientation, as regards career. Let them have the right perspective to what career is all about. I heard someone once said, the most important decision one has to make in life is the choice of one's partner. And then second to that is the choice of one's career. And to some very large extent, I want to agree with this, because I believe our society will be much better if we are able to discover ourselves and our usefulness in society. So in this talk, I'd like us to focus on greatness and career. What I mean by greatness is, I believe greatness is not achieved, it's not attained. Greatness is who you are. So I'd like us to talk along these lines. Now, how do you marry who you are with career? Like I've always said, every single person I meet, have opportunity of meeting and talking with, I always say this: career should rather be seen as a platform to bring out the who in you, the greatness in you. That's bringing me to say that work and job are two different things. In a society in Nigeria, people crave to keep job, to get money, to pay bills, and I believe life is far beyond this. So work is rather a platform God has given you to bring out that which He has put within you and make our society a better place. So I like you to share your own thoughts. But before then, I would like for you to introduce yourself. Let me meet you officially, and let our audience to get to understand and know who you are, what you do, because I can see you're a young lady who is going somewhere.
Okay, my name is Joy Akut. I'm a writer and a blogger at inyamuakut.com. You mentioned bringing out what's within you, and that's what I do, writing, because that's what burns in me. So I'm expressing it. So would I call that my career or my job? I'm just expressing myself, and I'm enjoying doing what I'm doing. So it's not a job to me, and it's not labor. And I think a lot of people have been put in that box of being conformed to do something else, to make money or to earn a living. So it becomes a burden to them to work.
Okay.
But it's, I'll use that illustration of making a monkey live in the water, swim, and making a fish climb a tree, because you feel like there are loads of bananas or monkeys or coconuts on that tree, so you make a fish do that because you see a monkey do it with ease. So a lot of people in the society are doing things that are not, in them, because people have made them be who they are not. And basically, I think it's a good thing you're doing here, because we don't need that. We need people to enjoy what they are doing, to look forward to waking up in the morning and be inventive. You sit down, you think, you're creative, because that's what you love doing. You're not going to do what someone wants you to do, and that puts you in a box, and you're labeled as lazy. And I think many people end up being sick, high BPs and all, and fed up with that. So yeah, in a nutshell.
Wow, thank you very much. You made mention of something that caught my attention when you cited an example with a fish and a monkey. I believe the creation story I subscribe to is that one contained in the Bible. I believe there's a supernatural being somewhere that made man in his own image and put that ability in man. Now, I don't believe in the story of evolution. Permit me to say this, but I believe there is something about a man that makes him stand out. Now, similarly, I believe a fish is a fish and is able to function in water because it was wired to function in water. It has the ability to swim, and it has a habitation, which is the water, to express the giftings. You know, its nature, it's expressed in a place, water. It's natural for a fish to swim.
Yeah.
Now, just like you said, it would be very unnatural for it to find itself in the forest, the jungle, trying to do what a monkey does. Now, it's very pathetic that in our society, particularly Nigeria today, you find a lot of young, people trying to go into, let me just use medicine for instance. You know, I had an opportunity to interact with secondary school students before. Some will confront me, "Uncle, my father wants me to be a medical doctor, but I don't see myself being a medical doctor." But they dare not confront their parents, tell them this is what I'm thinking. One, because the parents are taking the full responsibility of sponsorship, sponsoring them through, school and stuff like that. It becomes a challenge to properly guide these children to look within themselves and then bring out, discover who they are. Just like we spoke about the fish's abilities to swim, and the creator placed it in water to express its natural endowment. Now, I feel greatness, or you being who you are, and career should go hand in hand. Now, picking a career path should be in alliance with who you are, your natural giftings, your abilities. Let it flow naturally. Let it flow naturally. Just like you said, you don't wake up now trying to keep a job to get ends meet. You are living far beyond trying to get ends meet. When you begin to look within and express that which is within you, primarily, the person that gave you that natural gifting is glorified. Secondly, you are improving your society. Thirdly, you are getting fulfillment. Now, it brings me to say this. Let me just ask you this question. Aside money, if money were not a factor, would you still do what you are doing right now? Because I believe what you do right now has fetched you some coins, some money, and I believe it will fetch you some more money too. But is that the drive? Is that what drove you? Is that the focus? Is that the
No, definitely
okay.
not. If we take money from the equation, I'll still be doing this, because before I came full time into writing, I worked as a stockbroker.
Okay.
So I was earning salary.
Okay.
And it was something I enjoyed doing for a while, and it got to a point where I didn't look forward to waking up every morning to go to work, but I always found joy in writing. That was my comfort. That was where I found my rest in. So that's what I'm doing now. I know people who make a lot of money from blogging or from writing, or they're doing more, but I'm not making as much as they are. But that hasn't stopped me or discouraged me or sent me looking for something else to give me money to live the kind of life that I want to. I'm doing what I love to do, and eventually you keep evolving, you keep getting better, and that which you want would come to you.
Okay.
In that which you love doing.
Okay. Wow, that's a good one. I can attest to that because I read one of your books, Kiss and Tell, and I can say to a very large extent that the book has been so inspiring. It carries a message, and having heard and listened to you, it's what you love. So you are passionate about it, and to quite a good number of people whom have listened to them say they have read your book, it has been a great blessing to them. Just like you rightly pointed out, when you do what you love to do, the resources, the money chases after you. That's my belief. So these thoughts we are sharing now, the whole idea behind penning those ideas into a book, sending it to secondary schools in our society, is to give younger minds the right orientation, as to what it means to choose a career. Don't just choose a career because Mr. A is doing pretty well in that particular area or field. I see some parents try to talk their children, their worth into a particular career. One, I have carried out a survey. I've discovered some out of pride, our society can be that backward. Because my son or my daughter is a medical doctor. Okay, that is the father too, a medical doctor. It's enough reason for them to persuade them, not necessarily trying to help them discover who they are. Now, let me use the word selfishness. They are not looking beyond the children, bringing the glory in quote to them, and then being proud parents. But I feel our parents should be also addressed, also telling them to see career beyond self-gratification and bringing glory to the family and all of that. Let's look at our children beyond the moment. Let's look at them as assets in the society, making our place a better place. I believe God, the one that created you, gave you those special giftings and that grace carried within you to improve yourself. Years ago, praying, and God was talking to me about life is beyond food, drink, smoke, sex and money. But that has been the order of the day. Now, just like you rightly pointed out, beyond money, you enjoy doing what you do. Now, how do you think we can help talk to the parents? What platform do you think we can have to interact with the parents?
I think these days, especially in the Nigerian society, we are not as rigid as we were back in the day. Because I remember being in the hospital once, and the doctor there, a young guy, was I could see the excitement in his face when he talked about his music, more excitement when he spoke about his music than about medicine. And from the hospital, he was rushing to the studio to record songs, and he was bringing it to me because I had someone coming to visit me who is an established musician in the Nigerian entertainment scene, and that person used to be a banker. He also left the banking. Everyone thought he was crazy. He left banking for music. And so I could see people who, in the end, they had done what their parents wanted them to do. They were stuck in jobs, but their passion won in the end. Anyway, I don't know if the doctor eventually left his job, but this friend of mine left banking to pursue music full time. I don't know, for parents, I think what needs to be done is to get them to interact with their kids more, to when they're focused on the kids, they're able to see what's in that child, and when they're able to see that, it's to encourage them, to encourage the children in their natural, what they see them, what they love doing. There's some kids who love dancing, but we may say dancing is nothing, but we have dancers who are changing the world, who are doing things with dancing, especially from the primary schools or even secondary schools. There should be social clubs where parents are encouraged to let their children express themselves. You bring out whatever is in you. If they love to write stories, if they love to dance, if they love to sing, if they love to play, pull things apart and put them together. From that you start seeing what this child is interested in, what they're naturally inclined to do, and from there, okay, this is where this child is leaning to. And I feel a lot of people wouldn't struggle through school if they're allowed to flow along the line. So if parents are actually encouraged in that light to, to look at their child and flow with what they see in that child, then you want to play football, be an educated footballer. You want to make clothes, be an educated tailor or designer or whatever. You want to cook, be an educated chef. You want to bake, be an educated baker. You want to, be a movie maker, be an educated movie maker. There are loads of things out there outside, the set careers of doctors, lawyers, bankers, all that. There are loads of frustrated bankers, actually.
Wow, thank you very much. With that, I can confidently say, going by what we are trying to focus our attention on, looking inwards and bringing it out, making a difference in your time. The Bible says, all creation earnestly awaits the manifestation of the sons of God. The word manifestation, we need the glory that we carry on the inside to be made manifest. Which brings me to say that if we begin to focus on the in that is within us, it's possible to even chart new career courses, I believe. Because you discover that you were wired, you have a unique flavor to add to life. You're just unique, you're just different. Even two Siamese twins, I believe they're not the same. Identical twins, they are totally different. There's something unique about you. You cannot be me, I cannot be you. Now, a lot of people are trying to be copycats, trying to fit into other people's wigs. Take up your own wig, chart a new course, let others follow. Now, like you rightly pointed out, I was able to interact with a few principals of secondary schools, and we were trying to create a little platform, or a platform for me to have an interaction with parents and the students. Like I earlier mentioned, the focus is teenagers, 12 to 19 years. If we're able to properly give them the right orientation as to what career is, that's bringing me to say, looking at what school, in my own words now, I believe is or should be in our day, our school should be designed in such a way as to rather help these children discover who they are, and then after discovery, nurture that which they have discovered properly. For instance, like you said, I love to bank. Instead of going to an engineering school or going to any other school, a mixed school, rather just focus your attention, go to a school whereby the banking in you is properly trained. You become a figure in it. And then, for instance, you have discovered a new career path. Okay, is it possible for us to create a platform for you to develop that which you have discovered on the inside of you to a certain level as to become a big figure in it? Because the focus now is you fulfilling the purpose for which you were born, you were created, and making this society a better place. It's so sad that a lot of people are trying to take from society instead of adding to the society. What do I mean by taking from society? If we celebrate electricity today, someone somewhere, sometime made an effort to better the society in its only two ways. He sat down, he kept thinking. We celebrate laws of gravity because Isaac Newton, that was a critical mind. He thought and he propounded a theory, he brought some laws and all of that. Today we celebrate. So I believe that where we are today is not the best yet. We can improve on where we are. But I believe the whole idea behind this talk and this career of a thing, is to make an aggressive effort towards improving ourselves. And I believe this is the right place to start. Aside talking to parents, what else do you think can be a good platform or a veritable tool for us to use to communicate these truths that we're trying to communicate here effectively to our target audience? Effectively to our target audience.
I mentioned social clubs in
Okay.
school. I don't know. I know some schools. I don't know if that still happens, but back when I was in school, we had social clubs, and they had the cooking clubs, all that. I think social clubs in school, if that can be revived, it stirs the children. You go to what pulls you, what you're interested in, and there you're stirred up, and then having regular talks with them, counseling units in school where you can talk to the children and all that, and teachers. I think teachers need to be trained. You don't write a child off because they are not excelling in a particular subject. Like I said, you don't judge a fish by how he climbs a tree. I may be naturally inclined to literature because I love to write and I love to read, and someone else who isn't interested in that, interested in mathematics and formulas and all that, don't judge him by his inability to excel in literature. If students, teachers can actually take interest in their students, they are able to when you pay attention to each individual, you're able to help them out in that way. That way they don't feel like a failure because they're not excelling in other places. And when you notice where they're excelling, you encourage them in that, as well as of course they have to pass mathematics or something, so you groom them in that area. You're patient with them on that at the same time.
Thank you very much. I'm so optimistic about this because I've suffered in this area. Why going to secondary school, the pride of being a science student. I was actually a brilliant student, but I discovered I wasn't supposed to be a science student because I love to write. I'm a preacher. I like talking. I like writing. Singing. I'm not good in mathematics, but I tried to. Being intelligent. It was a challenge. I was trying to cope with the challenge. I didn't know that took me to the university, and I discovered that this is not my place. My eyes were like pop open to a particular field I felt I was supposed to fit in, and this is what I'm doing. I love to talk to young people and encourage them. And so when I began to pray, meditate, say, I'm not a dull student, but why has all this? Why is all this happening to me? So I picked up the challenge to, work on this, work on the material, and probably take up this challenge as an individual to help curb this ugly menace, properly channel the minds of our younger ones into, befitting career paths early enough. If I had known what I know now when I was in secondary school, I wouldn't be where I am today, probably. Maybe God allowed it for me to face it so that I will pick up the challenge and then chart a new course. Aside what you said, I really appreciate what you said, establishment of clubs, some very large, I can say some churches are trying to, allow people to express themselves, by finding themselves in different diverse kind of units and all of that. But as it is on my heart, why not come up with an institution that will directly, guide and give the right orientation? Okay, let's just target career orientation institution or institute, something like that. That maybe at the age of within this age range, you come there, you have professionals, you have counselors. In the Bible says, in a multitude of counselors there is safety. So if I were properly counseled, thank God for my parents, they didn't talk me into what I eventually went to university to go and study, But the pride of it, all my mates, all my folks, they are science students, me too, I should be a science student. No. If I had known what I know now, I would have killed the pride then, properly discover who I am, and then take after the inner strengths and what I love to do. I love to talk to people, even if I'm not paid. I love to do what I do. If I see you smile because I spoke to you, I'm happy and fulfilled. You know, and I've been a blessing to you. I've helped you. I've made your life a better person, and I'm also satisfied. You know, not necessarily trying to become an engineer, get some money. There's this void. I'm not fulfilled. I'm not feeling myself. I'm not feeling myself. So, aside that, I'm thinking we involve the government of our state and our nation to look into it properly. If there is any need for us to have a career orientation institute or something of that nature, whereby we have people, professionals, to train our children, and then once in a while gather parents and then talk to them on the need to allow children to express who they are. You know, primarily help them discover who they are, and then it's also a journey between discovering who you are to bringing out the who you are, and then making a difference with the who you are that you have discovered. That brings us to a place called the act of schooling. When you discover, you go to school, and the school should be a platform whereby you are, you know, you are being developed. The who that you have discovered is in you is properly developed and allowed full expression, you know, to better our society. You know, the focus is being a blessing in our generation, being a blessing of time. I think that's the focus, and that's God's plan too. Our Creator wants us to give Him glory and then improve on the lives of the people around us. You know, you at the same time get satisfied. My core desire in this life is not to make money, though I believe money will chase me as I crave to, you know, bring glory to He that created me, and then improve the quality of the lives of the people around me, and then bring satisfaction. And I believe what we know today, a lot of people out there don't know it. So that's just a suggestion, trying to, you know, bring in a lot of bring in platforms or strategies to help our people discover who they are and then put them on the right path. How who they are discovered to be can be translated into, you know, something that can be, you know, can be beneficial to every other person in society. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nice having you. I really appreciate those ideas you brought up. You know, establishing clubs in schools will be very, very effective, I believe, because I've worked with students before, and an impact a teacher has on a child is very much. So let's work on having a team, you know, a team of staff that will be going from school to school to have seminars or talk shows with the students, the teachers, and then the parents. And then each school we visit, let's trust God that we establish a club that will present the interest of this message we are preaching. Greatness, career. Discover who you are, fulfill purpose. You don't just exist. You have a divine mandate, you know. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
We work with this. And I will appreciate more ideas as they come in, just communicate out and stuff like that.
Thank you. I will be honored to be part of it. I think you're doing a very good thing, and I'm sure a lot of lives will be changed and helped by this.
Amen. That's a prayer, that's a desire.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.